Alright, it is 9:22 a.m. I tried configuring with TD Immediate Trade, and it looks like the money hasn't settled yet actually, so even if I wanted to, even if there were OTC setups, I wouldn't be able to trade them, at least for today, maybe Monday. By then it should be nice and ready. It's CLEU is a first day stock. It's not too bad. I like that it hasn't traded for a long time, and when it did trade, it wasn't too much volume compared to today. We're gonna have resistance in the 1040, so that will be something to keep an eye out for. But there is plenty of opportunity for this stock to move. It's a sketchy stock, sketchy Chinese stock, but hey man, they can run very nicely. ARTL is the next one. This one is looking a little better pre-market, although this one CLEU can make a uptrending head and shoulders, and that would be something to buy into. We got 7 minutes till the market open, and yeah, ARTL, not too bad. It's definitely worse than CLEU, but it could be worse. Hasn't traded too much either, at least not with a lot of volume when it did. It does have some of these little spikes that had volume previously that could cause an issue, but we'll see how far this one can go. In the meantime, it kind of broke out, as I have here first range. It kind of broke out of a range here. It's a first day in that sense. CLSN, bad sushi chart. This is the same stock from yesterday. It seems like it might want to continue. Really don't think I will trade this, but I have it there for now just in case it does something interesting. And WAFU is another stock. I think it's another Chinese stock. Some big volumes. Yeah, big volume days that could be an issue for today. It's not up too much. Actually, the volume is, I'm actually going to remove this. The volume is weak. It's had previous days that spiked a lot with a lot of volume. It's only 16% up. If it does some other, movement, sure, I'll be interested, but probably not. And CLS, and I'm just keeping it because it was definitely a mover yesterday, although it faded a lot, even though it's up only 13%. I don't know, I just have it there in case it does something. But really, ARTL, CLEU are the stocks to watch. And yeah, I'll see if there's any price action, any good movements. Still pre-market, but I really want to work on my under trading, even if that means I over trade a little, just to try to even things up. Okay, so it's 9:31 a.m. Markets have just opened. I definitely made an argument that this will be a short, even though I had a high here in the $3 range, and we had a higher high. We had a lower high, and then we made another lower high. So what ended up was this big red candle at the market open. I've seen these that are up pre-market and they fade a lot, so I don't know if this one will play out, but it's under this 280 level, and it really needs to get back above this level if it actually wants to look somewhat bullish. So this thing, it looks like it might try to hold it now, but yeah, it's just not good that it broke it, especially with these lower highs being formed. Somewhat of a short strategy, but I wouldn't have been able to short. Even if I was able to, it would be kind of hard to short on the market open candle. That's a bit too scary. Probably would have been short in the 290s, watching it here in the 280s, saying, hey, maybe this thing is going to choke here in the 280s. It's not going to come back above it. It's going to choke it, and it's going to downtrend. It could obviously still uptrend. It's just less likely. The odds are not so much in favor for something like that. CLEU got halted, so we're going to have to see how this plays after. I just hate these halter stocks. They're always like $9, and then they start going to in the teens and maybe the 20s. I don't like the halter. CLSN, nothing I really want to trade. It looks like it's trying to play off this 260 level. Let's go 1 day. It's a pretty significant level, but yeah, definitely no setups right now. I'll keep looking, but yeah, it looks like we're getting some fade in. Overall markets were red a little, just a little, but the candle doesn't look good when you look at the overall chart in perspective, so it could definitely have an effect on these as well as the LTCs, but I'll definitely keep looking. Okay, it's 9:38. ARTL did have a nice spike in the 320s, but it was just getting sold into too much. At least for now, it just wasn't able to do it. It could still do it, but it might have been also a short squeeze for all I know. Just not something. If I had have actually been short, I would have cut losses probably at the 3 breakout level. Because then it's making a higher high if it does that, and otherwise, yeah, it's just looking a little sketchy. I'll tell you that. CLEU opened. Unfortunately, the head and shoulders just it's not gonna work because it's just downtrending too much. It's a failure in that sense, but it's alright. That's trading. Not everything's gonna go your way. I'm watching BRLL, even though I can't trade this because it looks like it could do a number 5. Even if I'm not able to, there could be support here in the 45s. But the question is it just a number 5 setup, or is this thing gonna keep dropping, keep struggling because of how bad the OTC markets have gotten, the overall markets? Could it have an effect on this stock, or is it still gonna play a nice number 5? Looks like Tim is still playing the number 5 patterns with other stocks like MJMA, right? Yeah, number 5 here, but I don't know. I like BRLL more because it had like this this blowout top right here. It is holding that 45 level, not 49. Let's see for how long it'll keep the uptrend. I could have, in theory, bought into this setup, and it seems like at least right now it would be paying off. A lot of people are on the ask as well, but I can't trade right now because I don't have an account that can buy LTCs. Although TD Immediate Trade might be available Monday, but unfortunately, that's probably when these things are done with. So there's something wrong with that I just absolutely missed the OTC craze. And then the few trades I did get in with the OTC stocks, it just didn't work out. One of them was gonna work out. It was just a bad. 2 of them would have worked out, but it was issues with E-Trade that kept me from it. But it could have been worse. I could still be working a shitty job at Amazon. I had a horrible dream about it, of how bad it was working there. So yeah, there's no setups right now. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just keep looking. But BRL seems to be playing out that number 5 setup, at least from 46 to 50, almost a 10% move. I'll keep looking. Alright, it is a 9:59, a bit of a mind game, just trying to understand the choppiness of ARTL. So here's it looks like to me it's making an uptrend head and shoulders, which is why I'm not considering any longs, even though it could potentially go against what I'm thinking and break the day high, which I guess is gonna do right here. Yeah, just way too damn choppy. But it looks like an uptrending head and shoulders. Considered maybe buying it here in the 320s, but I learned my lesson from the last trade. If it's the wicks are making lower lows, that's not a good setup. And then I had this double wick here at $3. At the time, it was just crazy choppiness, but now it looks like it's putting up what you call, like a confirmed breakout over the $3 level, which is pretty impressive because it's actually holding it compared to here where it just briefly broke past it and went under because it wasn't really able to hold it. And then it started holding the 320s here with these sketchy wicks, and I considered buying again, but I just didn't because if it's making an uptrending head and shoulders, it's gonna have another drop to a potential neckline of 320. That's why I didn't really get in. CLEU, very disappointing. Wow, I'm gonna remove this stock. Just a very disappointing run there. Not really something I could short either. Even if I could have short, it doesn't seem like I would have had a good entry there. Okay, let's not have the mouse there. eBay does that too. I hate it. CLEU, yeah, just didn't really make a shoulder to short into. It would have been kind of sketchy just shorting it here. I remember that looking like an uptrending head and shoulders potential because they had this level right here higher than here. Yeah, no way I would have shorted into that. ARTL is just very choppy, just grinding away. Just again, didn't want to get in because it looks like a uptrending head, head and shoulders. So it's gonna have a drop at some point. At least if it goes away, I think it will. It doesn't have to. So yeah, I'll definitely keep looking. I'll look at the chat too. And BRLL was not very successful because it dropped, further. But I guess it made an official double bottom here from the 42s to the 54s, which is very nice in terms of range. That is very impressive. That's 10 cents on the 40-cent stock. That's a 25% move. That's very impressive. So yeah, I'll keep looking, and I don't mind if I don't trade this because it is, after all, very choppy. But I'm just tired of missing trades, so I have to keep working on it. Okay, so it's 10:11 a.m. I just had a trade. It was really a scalp, if you want to call it that. So here's the thing. So uptrending head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. And then when I started looking at it a little more, it looks like right here was a shoulder, and this is a head, and now it's going to make a shoulder. So it kind of did that. It had this drop here from the 340s, up from previously in the 360s. Had a nice drop towards this very important level of support at 320. Also a good level to risk off of. So then at which candle it was? It was the 10 candle. So right, I considered a buy right at the very next candle, and I waited on it. Wanted to be a little patient with it. Didn't want to hold a trade for just under a minute. So I managed to hold it. I still managed to hold it under a minute, but close. But here's the thing. So when we got to this candle right here and right here, because I sold in the next candle at the very end of it, the issue was that it was just not working out. The 340s was a very, very, very strong level of resistance. It just wasn't. It didn't have the firepower to get back to the 340s and make this like a confirmed breakout over the 320 level. So when it was failing pretty badly, level 2 was kind of strong, but there was definitely people dumping on the bid. The level 2 just showed that it just didn't seem very likely that it could work out. Now I might try to base off of it because it actually touched the 320 level here, but it didn't work, so I sold in the 330s. This was a scalp. It was only 50 shares. I don't know what the profit loss could be. Let's see how well the bid is holding here. No commissions, which was nice. Although my exit did not immediately execute. It did happen immediately, but it didn't get executed immediately because I don't know. It just didn't catch it at the time. Now that it's under 320, that's not looking too good, but it could be in a, just an inexact confirmed breakout over the 320 level. The issue is there's just so much people on the ask. I don't do this very often. The VWAP, I guess, shows that the sellers are in control, but it could be very brief. Very, very, very brief. But if it's under the 320, that's not good. Even if it's like a inexact hold at the 320 level, I don't like it. So yeah, it looks like it's fading now. But it could have worked out in theory. Big drop here towards the 320. Support so strong that it didn't even get to 320. Got to 323. I buy in the next candle, and then it continues to uptrend. It was just a very brief dip and spike back. Maybe towards the 340s, the 350s, 360s. Maybe it tries to break the day high and it fails, or maybe it breaks it. Seems like a good overall pattern, but it didn't work out here. But I mean, I traded it even if it was just a small position. Okay, so it's 10:20. I tried the same setup again here, basing off of this $3 level. The issue is that when I wanted to get out, I actually have to reconfigure my speed key. So I guess I'll go ahead and show it here. Settings. Oh geez, if I can remember. Okay, so let's go to let's go to Chart Trader. hotkeys, and then we go to chart trader. So here's the issue, right? So I just adjusted it here, but for anybody using hotkeys with interactive brokers or is watching this, so you might already know this, but here's a hotkey configuration for just 50 shares. So it's going to be control +1. You're going to buy 50 shares, 3 ticks. That means you're going to put an order 3 ticks above the ask. So if the spread is 1 penny and the ask is currently at 306, you're going to place your order at 309 to buy. So that means you're pretty much going to get executed. It's almost like a market order. I've said, it's not completely in a market order. You don't want to pay 3 ticks above the ask, which could mean that your order just sits there, but it will more than likely, in theory, get executed more often than not. So here's the issue, and I guess that makes sense as to why in the other trade I wasn't successfully able to sell immediately. And so here's the thing, when I had it here, I had the sell at the bid 3 ticks. So I thought, alright, so it's going to sell 3 cents below the bid. That's going to work. That's going to get me immediately in and out. Sure, maybe it will actually sell 3 ticks below the bid, but it probably won't. It's just to secure that given the volatility, I do get more often than not an order executed, even with the prices changing, because it's at 3 ticks. But here's the thing, if you just have it at 3, not a minus, it's actually going to do it 3 cents above the bid, which you don't really want. So that's something I learned from that. So I placed an order. Let's see if I can go back and retrack. Yeah, I sold, I didn't sell, I bought at the 17 candle right here, right after I had this dip, and it looked like it was going to hold. And then when I wanted to sell, because it didn't look like it was going to actually do it, and probably because I'm a bit of an under trader, although I almost got to the 19th minute, which would have actually allowed me to sell for more of a profit. Again, I'm just not a very patient trader, I guess, but I tried to get out, right? I tried, but it went here, so I wasn't able to get it executed immediately when it was at a better price. I think it wasn't able to go through because it was basically placing a sell order at the ask, and then a few times my order appeared at the ask, but it wasn't getting executed, which wasn't good. And then I officially sold in the 18th candle, 18th minute, but it was 30 seconds later, and I then finally got executed because I changed the order while it was there, and it was able to work then. So I'm gonna go ahead right now and adjust the speed keys. That was something great to learn from. Great experience. Could have went way worse. Sure, it could have went way worse because it could have failed the $3 breakouts. But now it's in the 314s, 317s. Very impressive right here. Had I have still been in the trade, which I probably wouldn't, I would probably be considering selling into this candle right here. Just overall pretty impressive. I learned a lot from that. I'm going to go ahead and start adjusting my speed keys, and I'm not paying commissions unless it's like a routing commission. So I made $3.55 on one trade, and the second one I lost 45 cents. This one could have been a profit too had I not had that speed key thing, but now it's fixed for 50 shares, but now I gotta fix all the other ones. And this thing right here at 355, it didn't work out, but this one is working now. $3 at 320, that would be a so far a 10% move. So yeah, great lessons learned from that. I'm gonna just adjust the speed keys right now. I'm not looking at any other stocks. So yeah, and I guess just to note, BRLL, yeah, just did that follow up downtrend. It was pretty obvious to sell here. I don't want to sound like a smart ass, but like the price action and everything, the selling, the inability, the uptrend, the people on the ask and the bid, it was just obvious to sell. Not obvious, at least to me, to buy again here on the dip. Right? Did it drop to a level of support at 42? Not really, man. Just a random number if you ask me. Nice move to 57. Let's look at MJNA. Whatever that was. This one worked out too, just not as much. 74 to 89. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to start configuring the speed keys. This is looking very nice, and the 330s would have been a 10% move. The other two trades didn't work out. Could have been a green scratch on the second one, but I mean 45 pennies, that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this. Okay, it is 10:44 a.m. I normally call it off, but you know, there's still price action going on. ARTL looks like it could have made an inverse head and shoulders here, but I didn't like it. I wanted to, if it will, it doesn't have to, of course. If it could make a head and shoulders and drop below $3, I mean, it might even be bad, because if it breaks under 3, even if it's briefly for a head of an inverse head and shoulders, it might be a bearish sign. But if it makes an inverse head and shoulders, I'll be interested in trading this. We got up to the 340s, which was, you know, a 10%, a little more than a 10% move, which is pretty impressive. I just kind of psyched myself out because, you know, it could have failed. It could have failed definitely at 3, broken under, and it did have these random, not really random, but you know, the thing with the speed keys was totally off, so that kind of did throw me off, but it could have been way worse. So that's all I'm really looking at right now. Potential inverse head and shoulders if it drops under 3, perhaps. I'll have to look at it. It doesn't have to work out. It's pretty early if it is going to do it in a pattern, but something in the meantime that I will definitely consider. Okay, it is 11:29 a.m. I'm going to call it off. It just didn't really make that inverse head and shoulders that I wanted. You know, it didn't really drop enough to make a head, and then when it dropped here, it's just not looking like it's going to do it, which is totally fine. And yeah, I'm just going to totally just call this off right here, and I guess I'm up $3. It was two trades, so one of them was right here, yeah, one right here, because it kind of had this drop right here, and then the idea was it's going to hold the 320s and then do a quick spike back to where it came from, and then maybe try to break the high or get to the high, something like that. It didn't work out. It downtrended. The actual level was $3 instead of 320, so I bought on this this green candle right here. So the next candle, I already have my speed keys configured so that, you know, if I try to sell it, it goes 3 ticks under that the bid, so it's definitely, or at least more likely, gonna go through. And it doesn't mean it'll actually go 3 ticks under the bid. It'll just go at the bid. But if the bid changes to another price, up or down, whatever, it's gonna still very likely execute, which is good. And so yeah, with all that in mind, and then the idea that it could still fade 3, you know, it could still fade below 3 and fail, I got out. But eventually this one was one that worked out. It just, I wasn't in it, and it went up, you know, more than 10%. So a nice setup there. I really think I did the best I could. Nice to have a listed stock that provided setups that I could have traded, and I did trade. BRLL was a nice number 5. Let's look at other ones. SING was a nice number 5. ALPP, kind of a nice number 5, not too nice. Could have been a lot better. PLYZ, and these are all old LTCs. There's probably a bunch of other ones. Like I said, I stopped looking after I wasn't able to trade them. SFIO, looks like it wasn't really one. BRBB, kind of, but not really. LPTI, a little bit, yeah, definitely 31 to 35. This was definitely a number 5 setup right here. ASTI also provided a number 5, although this one would have taken me out of the trade before it had a spike because it took too long. DPLS, also a mini number 5, not really the best one. TSMP did not provide a number 5. And I guess CYDY didn't. Oh, I kind of did. BLZF did provide a number 5. This one worked, you know, even the last one where I got stuck and broke the PDT rule, it worked out, but I wasn't able to get, you know, I wasn't able to make money from that trade because the broker had that issue with the delays. COUV, it looks like it's still halted. MVVYYF is not really doing anything. So yeah, I'm just gonna call it off. You know, I think I learned a lot, configured my speed keys, so now they're working right. Would have probably been profitable on the second trade for a small scratch, or at least not have been as scared. So maybe I would have held longer, you know, when I tried selling, and then, you know, it wasn't able to sell immediately. I don't know, but you know, just a lot of progress made. Very thankful to God for the day, and just gonna have to keep studying and keep getting better. Today's a Friday, so no trades until Monday. There's a lot of snow outside, and I'm happy that I'm able to do stuff like this as well as my business. Yeah, just remembered that dream I had at Amazon. It was pretty bad back then, but I'm thankful to God for the opportunity I have, and yep, I'll just have to keep going on it.